I'll just go over what is module. It's actually like a class, but we cannot create any object out of this module. This is just to what is a helper class, or you can say helper method. Mostly a class, because whatever you write in this, you cannot create an object like here it's the dog, right? You can create a object of dog, but you cannot create an object of swimmable. But to execute whatever is there in this module, you have to consume this in the class.
Okay.
Okay. So here, see, we have module swimmable. We have method swim, and then we have class dog, class fish, and we have created object of dog and fish. We cannot create object of this one like swimmable.new. Whatever and this will hold only the methods. And to execute these or to consume this, it has to be included in a class like this, include and swimmable. So now when you create an object of dog, you'll be able to access this one because you have included that in the dog class, in both the class actually.
Okay.
Okay. If you try to create a method, or sorry, an object, it will give some error.
Okay.
Undefined new method, because there is no class at all, swimmable. So
Module is not an object. What?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can create object of only a class. So there's no class, so it is telling there is new undefined no method error, because this is not a class, and it does not have a constructor also, because when you remember I told, like whenever we create a class with .new, it calls its constructor method. There is no class, so it cannot create, but it should be included like this. Include the name of module, whatever it is. So these are called as some modules. Okay, these.
But this self.class, what is because here what is self.class? I'm not getting that actually.
This one.
Ah.
Okay, this I'll cover in later classes. Self here is the current instance of the class.
Okay.
Current instance is like this you write in other languages, right? This keyword. So it is similar to that. It says this, I mean, self means it is specific to this, the object which is being passed here. See, self.class I have written, and when I create a dog class, okay, dog object, and call this one. So this object here is dog, right? The class here is dog, and the instance of that dog is being passed here. So that is where it will print, see, dog is swimming. Because the class's instance is dog.
Okay.
Then if you
created a dog. And where you the class you swimmable includes swimmable, there you are calling the method in dog class, and dog is equal to dog.new. We created an object
Hmm.
dog.swim.
This is object creation. Okay. So here dog.swim, we don't have any method in this dog class, but we are accessing dog swim here from the module. Because we have included swimmable in the dog class, we are able to access this one. Like inheritance, one class to other, we inherit the properties, right?
Correct.
With the module, we mix this functionality with the class functionality.
Okay.
So
So
now the
dog.swim, you are here, you are calling this module again. Dog.swim.
Yes, yes. Module method.
Yeah, my module method you are calling there.
Yeah.
And self.class, I am confused there.
Okay. So
So
this
how
is
it
the
is
method.
printing dog? Is it because of that self.class?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Self here is this, the current object. Okay. So the
So no
current,
need to send the class name there. Self.class will take whatever you are sending in different. If I take one more class, that also will be taken there, right? No need
correct.
to give fish or dog, something like that.
See, it depends on which object you are calling on. So you are calling on dog.swim. So this is a dog object. So here the self.class is dog.
Correct.
So it automatically passes like what? This is on current instance. Current instance is dog. On dog class, you are running, from the dog class, you are executing this method.
Okay. Okay.
Now, this is like something like this it is now.
Okay.
Even though you don't have it in the class, you have included module in the swimmable. So
Okay.
now it is like with this object, it is like executing swim method inside the dog. So the class is dog, self.class is whatever the class inside the method is in which class it is inside, that class it will take. So self.class is the current.
Okay.
Okay, so current is dog here. So it will print dog is swimming. So for this object, fish object, again, this is like same method inside this one. Okay. So the current object here is fish. Self here is fish.
Okay. Okay.
So when you execute this line, 24 line number, it executes this method saying, okay, self here is fish, then fish is swimming.
Okay. Okay.
Clear, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we have okay, self, you were asking, right, how it is. So this is all about self, okay. So it says here we call it as class methods. So whatever we define with self, those are class methods. Because you see, for other methods, for this, these are the normal methods, right? Normal functions. You have to create an instance for this. Then only you will be able to access some of the methods. So suppose I have one more method here. Okay. So you will here, if you call now dog.bark, you will see that method, whatever statement dog is barking I've given, right? That you will see. Okay. So now you're accessing with the instance.
Okay.
Okay. But here, you see, besides it, those are instance method because you're calling it on an instance.
Okay.
So in Ruby, we also have class methods. Okay. These are the class methods, which are like methods that belong to to particular class itself rather than individual object. It is specific for the like the current class. So here these are called as instance method because you create an instance. Okay, you create object, you call the method on the individual instance. See here, the same method, swim, you are calling it on different objects, right?
Okay.
Because these are instance method, these are specific to individual object. Okay, so we'll have dog.swim one execution. It is only, it belongs to only dog object. So here, this method belongs to swim object. Since it's an instance method, we call an object and what you say, execute the, like trigger that execution of method.
Okay.
But for class methods, we add self.
Okay.
Just a second. If I make this self. So I said class is the current instance, right? Current class. So here, when I say self.bark, I can directly use the name. I don't have to create a object of this. I can just do dog, just the name of the class, dot B-A-R-K, bark.
Okay.
This is the method. Okay, so when I execute, I just see dog is barking. So this is class method. Self is the current instance of the class. We don't create an object here for this. So we say that this bark method only belongs to this class. So it is not specific to any object. You can directly call dog.bark.
Okay.
I'll create one more. Say running. Run. Okay. Dog is running. So this is an instance method.
Okay.
This is class method. So now if I want to access run, I cannot do like this. Dog.run.
Okay.
Because it is, see, here I got an error. Undefined run for class. It says there is no run because it is not a class method. It does not belong to this class at all. It is written in that, but it is an instance method. So it should be called on the instance of the class. So if I call here dog.run, here I have.
If you take class, then you can.
Sorry.
So after dog.new, when you created object, that down there only you have to call this thing. Dog is equal to dog.num.
Yeah, this is an, see, you forget about this.
Okay.
Just see in the class, you have two types of method. These are class methods. Class methods are written with self dot the
Class.
method name. This is the method name.
Method name. Okay.
So self dot method name.
Hmm.
This is a class method. So you
Okay.
don't need a object to execute this one.
Okay.
So you just need the class name. Okay, the class name dot method name.
Okay.
So here dog dot bark. So this is
Okay.
class method. Then when it comes to instance method, we don't use self.
Hmm.
We own, when it is not self, then it is an instance method. And this method can be executed only with the help of objects.
Okay.
Then you have to call, you have to create an object with the class name dot new.
Hmm.
This creates an object. This creates an object, and then you will have access to all the instance methods and variables. So object dot whatever the instance method name.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are doing the same. Here we are creating an object of dog, then calling the instance method, which is run.
Okay.
Any confusion?
No, actually, this dog dot run, you have written here down, right? Dog dot bark after that. So because there is no object, so it is not running here. Dog dot run, when you wrote here after the object creation, that time it is running.
That's what.
Because
Because
here
that is
you
an
created
instance
fish
method.
dot new. After that, if you're, is it a syntax type? I'm
You can write anywhere. I've just written here. You can write anywhere. It's not like after that only you have to call or no. It's just the see. When you see, okay.
No,
See.
you wrote here dog dot run. That time it gave error.
No. It gave error because of this. This. Whatever I've written, no, there is no class name, method name. I have just written the syntax here. It was not because of dog.run. See, I've removed this one. Okay. See, you can run this dog.bark anywhere. It's not like after the creating of instance or it's just the class name. So how do you access it depends on you. Where do you access it depends on you. You just have to do dog.bark. You don't need an instance here. But
For self, right? For self you're telling. But for
yes.
instance, you have to create an object and then you have to.
So see, I've told you this is a class method.
Correct.
Class method always should have self prefixed.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an instance method.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have self here. Just remember two types of method. The class
Correct.
method, instance method. Class method will have self prefixed to the method name.
Okay.
Okay, so instance just plain def method name. Okay, so
Okay.
when you want to execute class method,
Hmm.
which is with self, then you just have to do class name dot class method.
Okay.
Okay, when you want to execute instance method,
Okay.
you have to create an instance. That is why it is called as instance method. You have to create an instance object.
Okay.
Instance is nothing but an object. That's why they say it's an instance method, which is called only on the instance of this current class. That is object of dog with new. Then I call dog dot run. So
Okay.
I cannot do dog dot bark because it's a class method. So I cannot do dog dot run because it's an instance method.
Okay.
I can show. See, now dog.bark is a class method. Now I'll try to call an instance method, dog.run. So here this should give me error because run is an instance method. It does not belong to, it says it does not belong to class dog.
Correct.
See,
It is DOB.
See, run does not like undefined run because it is not a class method. So if I do here if on the instance, if I do dog dot bark, here also I should get error. See, bark method, here it comes. Bark method is no method error. It does not find bark as an instance method.
Okay, it's a class method.
Yeah.
Okay.
So self is always the current class. So if you do self dot class, it will give you the class name of the class. So now in this you want to print the, what class it is using. So here we are printing, right? What class? It will just give you the current class, whatever current execution is getting done, right? So if dog is getting executed, this instance, then it will give dog as a class name.
Okay.
And this is the way where we just access the which class it is being called.
Okay.
Okay, so here it's class. Okay. See, it's mentioned here. I have mentioned like class methods operate on class itself, where we doesn't create an instance, while instance method operate on individual object. We create an object and use or run the methods, right? Like.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So next we'll go to access modifier. So access modifiers are actually are the accessibility to your methods or functions, like how far you can access the methods or attributes within the class, or if it is after the class, or if it is an inherited class. So that will define the visibility of methods, like accessibility. Okay, so there are three types, which is public, private, and protected. Okay, so public here is the all the methods by default, or all the methods or attribute by default, they are declared as public because they are accessible anywhere.
Anywhere. Okay.
Outside the class, within the class. So those are public. So you can see here, right? These are all public methods.
Okay.
And you don't have to add any keyword or anything. These are public methods. You can access if you inherit or if you create the instance, you can access all the methods. Yeah, these are public thing.
Okay.
Public access modifier does not have any control on the visibility.
Okay.
So then by default, methods in Ruby are public. Because we don't need to specify it manually, like public keyword we don't use here. So then private. Okay, so for the methods and attributes, right? If we want to have some accessible control, or if we want to use the methods or attributes only in the class, and we want to limit that other classes not to access that one, then we make it private. See here, these are public. All the if we don't add any keyword here, then by default it is a public and it can be used. Okay.
Okay.
So here, for the private methods, we provide private as a keyword on top of the method.
Okay.
So for the public also, but we can provide, but it is since by default Ruby has all the public methods. It's like whatever methods you define by default.
Only for private, we have to.
Correct. Private and protected.
Private. Okay.
Okay, so this is a private method. And see, if I want to call this, I can call within the class.
Okay.
But see, now for the public method, what we used to do is we used to create an object, okay, and call that method directly.
Okay.
But here, private is only specific to this my class, this private method. We cannot access this even on the instance.
Mhm.
Okay, so here, see, just a second, I'll just comment this one. Okay, see, now here, I'm creating an object of my class
Class.
and I'm calling private method, this one, on the object. Okay, so if this was not private, then there is no issue. So this is, since this is private, it will throw an error because it is not accessible. See, private method,
Okay.
it's not accessible. No method error it throws.
Okay.
Oh, what happened?
So only in that class you can use that private method.
Yes. So how they are, how they use private method is, so they create a public method. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is a public method. Inside that they call private method. Since this is only accessible in the class, right? They
Okay.
call it inside that public method. So here it can execute. Okay, so now if we call this one, then again it will call to this method and execute.
Okay, you are in my class, you are creating a private method.
So
And in
till this you
in
have
the same
understood, right?
class, in the same class, you are calling it in a in one public method.
Yeah, till this you got right, like object dot private, it cannot be called because
Correct,
it
correct.
is private. Okay.
The
So
same
how,
class you are calling it, right?
yes, because it is only accessible inside the class.
So when we inherit from the class, at that time, if it is private, it will not inherit.
No, it is specifically to this. You will not,
Okay.
private is for that purpose. You want to limit the control on this.
Okay.
Okay. So now how do we access this is we create one public method. Okay. So inside that we are calling this method.
Okay.
This is private method.
Okay.
Since we can execute in the same class, we can just do a public method. You don't have to write this public.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a public method. In that, I'm calling this method, private method. So now,
Private method, public method, their name, or we have to use private method, public method only?
see, whatever after def you give, it is a name of the
Name
method.
only. Correct.
Yeah.
So
Anything
whatever you
can
want,
give.
you can give the name, right?
Yes, yes. So this I have given just to make you understand, saying that this is a public method. It's not like you have to give public or private.
So it is like when you define a private method, in any methods in that class, you can call that private method.
Yes.
Okay.
So in this method, so let me give method B.
That is okay. Private method. You said public, public. I was confused a little bit.
Okay. Now it is clear. This is just a method name. So I have method A, I have in
Okay.
one class, my class, I have method A and method B. Method A is private method. Method B is public method.
Mhm.
So private A is not accessible even on object creation because it's a private method. Okay.
Okay.
So in the public method, we call private method here, method A. So now when this, if I want to execute this one, I have to encapsulate. This is encapsulating. Remember, I told, we have explained, discussed on encapsulation. Private methods should be accessed through public methods.
Okay.
So this is encapsulating. So we are hiding the main features. Okay. These private methods. So we are exposing it through another public method. Okay. So here I have object I'm calling okay, method B. Because this is a public method, I can access this one. Okay.
Correct.
So now it will start executing this. So it will come to line number 7. And then it says, oh, there is method A. So I have to call method A. So since it is in this class only, it will go to line number 3.
Okay. Okay.
Then it will come to line number 4. So it sees this, it prints, and it comes out of this.
Okay.
And then here it says there is nothing after this. So it will come out of this.
Okay.
Methods. What did I do?
So,
okay.
So after public, again, you have to give that this is private. You have to give it, this is public. You have to end it writing public, right?
See, when I written private, right? It whatever I write below that, it will consider all as private.
Correct.
So now I did not mention public. So it was thinking method B also is private.
Private only.
So now I gave public. So now what it is treating, okay, only this is private. Then since I have specified public, the other whatever comes under these are public.
Okay.
Any confusion?
No. Now no confusion. I got it.
Okay. There is one protected.
Suppose if I call one more question. Suppose in this only, if I call this method, this public method in some other class. Method B is there, na? In some other class, if I call. I'm not calling the private method, but indirectly I'm calling this public method, and then this will go and execute.
So you want me to inherit this class?
Yes. Yeah. This anyway, this is public method, right? Method A, method B. So that I can call in other class also.
Yeah, but you need to have an instance. This is an instance method.
Okay.
So if now I have inherited my class with new class. Okay. Yeah. So now I have to create that object of new class.
Correct.
Okay.
New class dot.
So new class dot new.
You create it.
Okay, so now obj new class dot method B. I'll just comment this original. Okay.
So it will work. So wherever I'm using the private method in the same class, if I inherit, then that will be accessible, right?
Not private. Publics can be accessible.
Yeah, private, public, but in public only you are calling this private, right? So then I can easily execute the private also with the same with that instance.
Yes, this you're encapsulating private method inside a public method. You don't have direct control on this one, private method. You are doing indirect way. So
Indirect.
first you are calling public method, and then inside you are calling private method. So there is no direct communication with this method and other class methods.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I got it now. But after like we inheritance also we did here, right? Obj new class is equal to new class dot new. After that also that will not inherit that private.
Correct.
Only
Correct.
indirectly you have to call it.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so next we have is protected. So protected is also somewhat similar to private, but it is accessible within the defining class and also in the inherited, like subclasses.
Okay.
Okay. So here you see we cannot access method A because this is private.
Private class. Yeah.
But when you inherit in the new class, right, like this, if you again, if it is protected, if I use method A, then I'll be able to access here with the object of this new class.
Correct.
So that is protected. Okay, so right. This only I'll change. So now I have protected, I have a class. In that I have a protected method.
Okay.
Okay. So now here I have a new class.
Uh,
I am inheriting this class. So
okay.
this new class is a subclass of my class.
Okay.
So now I can directly access this one in the subclass also.
Okay.
It
So
is, but private, see, private, if it was private, I could not like use it, right? But
when you inherit, the protected will also inherit. That is the thing, right?
so here you can, let me take this example only, then the confusion will be clear. Okay. So here inside this we called private, right? In this example. Okay, so now if you have one more like a method here in the new class, then oh sorry. So here in this in the subclass you can access this one protected.
Okay.
Okay, it is not like private, like where you have to internally like call it in a public method.
Okay.
See here, it's a protected method, and I'm taking subclass, and I'm inheriting the main my class. Okay, so here I have one more method, which is some call protected. Okay, so here I can like call the protected, this one.
Okay.
Protected method. And I'm creating an object of both the classes, and I'm calling see obj this one, and I'm passing an object of first one.
Okay.
Just have a new class here, yes, and calling the protected method. So it is like, okay. Dot, what method it is, method. Oh, my class, not new. New class. Class. Dot new. And then. New class method that I'm passing. Okay, so here I have a class, this we already went through, right? This is a class. My class, I have a protected method, which is method A. So now I have new class. I'm inheriting new class with this one, my class. So new class is my subclass. So inside subclass, I have a like new class method, which belongs to this subclass. So here I can call the protected method
Okay. Direct. You can
inside
direct.
this.
Okay.
So how I can call? I need a object of that one, right?
Okay.
Object of that method. So now I have I can pass that object like this. Create that object, pass it as a parameter.
Okay.
Okay, so pass it as a if I pass it as a parameter, so now I have access to this my class.
Okay.
So now here my class, I have access to that, and then I'm calling the protected method of that one.
Okay.
So this is how we call like for the in the subclasses we can access, but if it is private, I cannot.
Yeah, but even if you inherit other classes also, you can easily you can use that other classes also, right? In other this thing by doing this same method. Then why protected?
See, protected, see, directly we are not using, right?
Yeah, anyway, but anyhow you can use.
I didn't get your question. What are other classes you meant?
See, if you are inheriting this class, inheriting my class, right?
Yes,
So when you inherit the other methods also you can use, right?
correct. I
The
got your
same thing
question.
you are taking, maybe the syntax is different, but you are taking protected. Then why protected? Why protected?
Got it. See here, I have, see, generally what we do is when we inherit the class, we inherit all the properties of the class, right?
Yeah.
But not protected.
Okay.
Because see, if I am accessing the methods in the subclasses directly, like public method, then what's the use of making it protected? As your
Yeah.
question is also
Yeah.
same, right?
Yes.
So now here, see, if it is public, see, this is public. I can directly make use of this in the subclass. So now I'll just remove this one. See, now I have new class. Okay, obj2, I've created an object. So now if I want to call public method, I can just do object dot method B.
Okay.
See, this is a public class.
Yeah. Okay, if you call directly, it will not take. You
Yes.
have, for that, you have to do some 2 to 3.
Yes, see,
You
I
have to-
cannot directly create an object and access like public. So then there is no use of this private, like you are not controlling the visibility of this. So now you have the access, but you cannot access it directly like this in the objects. For that, you need to execute that here, like somewhere, but you need to access the object of this one.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so in this class, you have access to all the properties of this, but you cannot call this because you have some visibility control. So now what I'll do is I'll create one more. Just a second. Okay, I'll create one more method there. Which takes an object of this class.
Okay.
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 So here I'll have to pass. First I have to pass the object. So for that I need an object. I'm creating an object. So now I'm doing like new class, and I'm passing object 1. So here that object is being passed. So now I have control on this one.
Okay.
Now I
So,
can execute.
so the thing is, when there is a class and you inherit that class, the child classes will have all the methods can be used in the child classes, but protected can't use. If you want to use it, then you have to call it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Directly also you can call it, but private you can't call directly.
Private and protected, you can't call it directly. Protected.
Protected, at least you can call and you can pass, right? But
Yes.
private you can't use. Anyways,
Correct.
it can't enter.
Private, here you can execute like this. You can pass object and execute the protected method, right? But
Yeah.
if this was private, then I'll not be able to use like this also.
Then indirectly
Has
you
to
have
be
to
the-
use where the private is called.
Yes.
Okay.
In the same class, this class only, we have to again pass it to create a public method, call inside the public
Correct.
method. So this is the difference. Public, it's accessible to all. Private, the accessibility is limited to only the particular class. Protected, you can create an object and access in the subclass.
Subclass. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay. So I don't know what they have mentioned in the syllabus, this access level specification. So it's the same actually. Public, private, and protected, the level, like within the class, or if it is within the
External code. Okay.
accessible external code. Public can be used anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Details, it should be internal implementation only, private. So they, as I explained, it is limited to class. Private and protected is limited to class and its subclass thing.
Okay.
Okay, this is ancestor. Okay, ancestor is in see, for every uh for any class or module, it is like there is remember in the earlier class I had told like everything in Ruby is an object.
Okay.
The ancestor chain starts from the main class, because it's the object itself is a class, and that itself is an object. That is a super class, you can say. Okay, so here the what it says is here the class is like any class. The ancestors of this is an object or a class, right? I'll just show you. Okay, see here I have a class C, then I have a module A, and I have a module B. So I'm including module A and module B. This I'll let you know later, because there are 2 or 3 methods to include the module. Okay, so this we have already seen how we include a module. Okay,
Okay.
so this, so if I want to print the super class of this, okay, so what is that? So here, this is how you actually, we never use this one. So C dot ancestors dot inspect. So here you are just saying, give me the super class of C. So it is
Okay.
like, so super class of C is first it has included module, then it has included A, it will go to that one. Remember I said there is a super class of all these class. These are, here we don't write, but it is an object of object class. Here you see, right? This object. So everything in Ruby is an object. So that is how we say it is derived out of this object class, this one. We don't write it because it is, what do you say? Implicitly it is derived, which is, we don't mention here that this is the super class or that. Whatever class is there, it is obviously, it will be inherited from this object class. So it is kernel level. So there is a, like, I don't know what exactly is kernel, but it is some memory related thing. And then there is a basic object.
Okay.
So until this is Ruby, this is all like machine level.
Okay.
So this is the super class of all the Ruby classes. So we don't use this one. I've never seen this ancestors keyword using in any of the project. Okay, but we just have to get to know that this is the ultimate object. There is object, under this there are modules, there are class, everything. Okay, so kernel and all this also is like what you say, like memory related thing, system memory.
Okay.
Okay. It's really of no use. So just it's just an information. This we saw, right, about class methods.
Class data, class methods.
Class methods, is this duplicated? Okay, this is about data. Okay. Okay, so class methods remains the same, which we went through our topic, right, in the first one.
Correct. Okay.
Class. So it remains the same. So, but the class data, it is like same, the variables. Data is nothing but like attributes.
Got it. Yeah.
Variables. So how do we define the accessibility of those? Like earlier we saw, right, this is a class variable, or with single ampersand, it's an instance variable. So same like class, we have the accessibility of this one also. I'll just see, this is a class variable. Okay, this is accessible across the like whatever instance you call
In other classes also it is.
yeah. So these are like a public, right? You have access to all the classes and all the instances of this class. So it
Okay.
can be accessed anywhere.
Okay.
This, see here, I'm here like I'm accessing inside a class variable. This is a class method, right? Self dot. This is a class method. I can access here, or I can access in instance method. This is an instance method. Actually, it is a constructor. So here also I can use in the instance method. So it is across the class, like in whatever method it is, be it class method. So if I do like my class dot new, I'm creating an object, then accessing the class variable. This one. This is a method, self method, class method. So I'm just calling directly. So however it is, I can use. It is not specific to instance, or it's not specific to a class method.
Okay.
Initial value is 0. Here I'm adding it. So that's where you see 2 and 0.
Okay.
See here it's mentioned. Class methods we saw, again, this is duplicate here.
Okay.
Like self dot class.
Got it.
Yeah. So adding methods to classes. Adding, okay. So yeah, this is simple. Like how do we add, you can define methods within the class using this. Why this topic came here, I don't know.
Again, the same thing.
Yeah, so I am actually going through the syllabus, which they have mentioned. So how do we add the methods and objectives like this using self and instance method? How do we create an object? So yeah, we went through this. Okay. So in the syllabus, they have this special global variable. But until now, I've never come across. So I've found out that these are the global variables. Okay. Last exception object raised, or it gives a backtrace. Like if there is an exception raised, it gives a complete method, like which class, which module, which method, which variable has caused this issue. So such things will be there. Okay, but we never use these things. The only thing we use is maybe this also is not used to load the path. Yeah. We have not used this one. So instead of this, right, this gives the backtrace, like which method, which variable. So we just print the exception. So that will directly give us the where the error is exactly what is causing. So we don't
Okay.
need all these things. Since it is mentioned, I just found that these are the global variables, but it is of no use.
Okay.
So nowhere we have used, or nowhere I've just come across that this is how I raise the error. So this is not the way we raise error, right? The last exception object raised. So this will give the last exception object raised, but we don't use like that. We write it in a catch block and pass the exception itself and print the exception directly. So
Okay.
maybe it's waste of time if we go with this.
Okay.
Okay, scope of variable, yeah, this we have already come across. Like instance variable, it is
Correct. Correct.
available across
Class
instance.
variable, global variable.
Yeah, this is there. Okay, so there is a built-in class.
Mm.
So in Ruby, right, we have many built-in classes. For example, array, integer, all these are classes.
Okay.
Integer class, string class, array. We have all, for all this, we have a specific class. So one thing is in integer, we have two classes, which is big num and fixed num. Actually, we don't use these things. Only I think fixed num we use.
Mm.
Big num is of no use, but during interviews, we get to sometimes they ask what are the two types of integers. So it is big num and fixed num. So whatever we see or operate like integers, we declare, right?
Mm.
Arrays or integer, in array of integer, all those are under fixed num.
Fixed num. Okay.
So it is a native language which we generally use, right? But big num holds some range of numbers which we normally don't use, right? It holds outside the range of fixed num. So
Okay.
whatever integer values we use, it is under fixed num. So big num is of we don't use much.
Okay.
So here it's the list of integer classes.
Mm.
Okay, so like to int. So if there is any string and string dot, if I do to int, it will convert to integer. So there
Okay.
is character. So it will
Okay.
convert to
Integer.
characters. Okay, so down to up to we have seen, right? These are the iterators
Okay.
in earlier classes. So these
Yes.
are all like inbuilt. You can say classes or methods. So up to we saw down to which decrements
Yeah.
the values. Um, yeah, seal is like, so suppose you have 10.6. So this
Mm.
will make, if you use seal, then it will make 11. Round off.
Okay. Round off.
Round off. Two integer also is for the conversion. Times we have seen, right? In the loop, how many
Yeah.
times the
Yeah.
loop has to execute.
Mm.
Then we have truncate. This truncate is it removes or deletes something. Like dot remove, array dot remove we used to do, right?
Correct.
It is same as that. This
Mostly they are used in arrays only, right?
correct,
Integer.
yes. Mostly array is used a lot. If not array, then there is a hash.
Hash.
Yeah, that is mostly getting used. Mostly it is array. Whatever data we have, it is mostly used in array. But in complex project, they use some other data structures. Like they create their own linked list, all those. But we usually don't do just array is fine for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, I'm not sure. I think I have never come across this term.
Okay.
This success. So maybe it is not used anywhere. This also is not used, truncate. We use delete or remove. And yeah, rest others we use. Then we have this round. It is like ceiling only, but it will round off to lower this thing. Ceiling, see, suppose there is 11.6, then seal will round off to 12. But
12,
if
okay.
this round will round off to 11, the
Okay.
lower number. This will
Okay.
round off to higher number. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so we have math class. Okay, so in that we have square root. We have to pass some minimum.
Sine cos is also there. Huh?
We have not used, never used those. Even the square root also is not used, but
But at
math
least
dot
we use somewhere at least square root we can use. But I don't know why sine cos and all.
maybe some projects which is dependent on calculations, right?
Maybe.
Mostly make some complex calculations. Maybe there it is used, but I've never, like we have never used here cos, sine. Many inbuilt methods are there actually. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the square root. I don't remember, but I remember of using this one. Sin, cos, theta, these and all no. Okay, so then we have nil class. In Ruby, we don't have null. We have
Okay.
nil here.
Nil.
Okay,
We used it in arrays, right? In hash.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
Both things. Nil is null, equal to null. That is nothing.
Okay.
So null class represents the absence of value. That is, there is nothing. If it is null, then there is no value. So, but
Okay.
we write nil to that one, right? So it is an instance of this nil class. So everything here has a class. Okay,
Okay.
so nil. So for example, true and false are Boolean values.
Boolean.
So for
Yeah.
that also we have class like class and false class. So true is an object of true class, false is an object of false
All
class.
sorts. Okay.
So this is how like everything in just everything in Ruby is Ruby is an
Hash.
object. So here, see, you see, I told you, right? In the like if a class is there, anything, it comes from object, right? This is the superclass. If
Okay.
the hierarchy includes the base object at root, that is object, from
Okay.
which all classes inherit by default.
Okay.
Okay, so object is the main, but we don't write class object here. Okay, that is there is already inbuilt a class. So
Okay.
whatever class, new class we write for our projects, it is just that it is inheriting from the main object class, which is by default done. We don't have to, yeah, we don't have to explicitly mention that.
Okay.